also believe that supervision is one of the few ways to actually work on self as instrument, which in my mind is one of the core pillars of evidence-based coaching and coaching in general. You know, how we show up as the coach, and what may be some of our blind spots or areas that we are not aware of, and supervision is incredibly helpful for that. And supervisors are specifically trained in some techniques that you might not see in other types of coaching. So it's highly fine-tuned to its purpose, and really takes an amazing leap, I think, when we look at coach long-term development, not only for new coaches but also for very senior coaches, benefit a lot from supervision.
Thank you, Terry. Thank you for sharing. And for the people who are just joining us, we are briefly explaining what is coaching supervision and how it works. Janine, anything that you would like to add?
Yes, I actually, Terry, you took the words right out of my mouth. I really appreciate what you shared there. And as you say, it's for coaches at any level, from the very beginning to very senior coaches. And certainly that's been my experience, what Terry shared. It really supports us to take coaching to our coaching skills to the next level. And it is a very safe place to have a conversation with a supervisor, because coaching can be a very lonely place. Even though we're working with lots of people, you know, we're potentially experiencing things where we might feel stuck. We might have our own we all have our blind spots. And so it is a beautiful, safe place where we can share what's coming up for us, be stretched, be challenged, but also be held again in this place where we are restored, where things are normalized for us. So it's something that I'm so grateful for, that I've gone on this journey with Damien. I was in cohort 7. So, and I have to say, it just opens up doors. It just continues to open up amazing doors, connections and experiences. So for those who haven't experienced supervision yet, please do. Thank you, Damien.
Thank you for being here, and also thank you for organizing the Australasia ICF conference, and part of that was a session on coaching supervision and a panel. So thank you for bringing that awareness to all of the participants of the conference. I think that's how slowly but surely we bring awareness of the importance of coaching supervision worldwide. So for people who know me, know that my vision is that every coach in the world will work with a supervisor. And I work with 2 supervisors. So it's not about, just for beginners. It doesn't matter where you are. We all have blind spots, and we want to look into that, and we want to keep growing and learning and developing. I don't know, Nancy, who are joining Nancy from cohort number 1. So Nancy, welcome to be here. One of the supervisors of the program too. Great to have you here. And Alicia is also a supervisor of the program in this program. So Alicia, Nancy, anything you want to add before we jump into the demo?
I very shortly would add, hello everybody. I would add that it's a place where we speak as colleagues, as peers, and at the same time, it's a way of, I would say, discovering new things about oneself at the same time that the coach discovers. So we both learn in a space that it's very, very, I would say, reflective, and that leads us to new discoverings in our coaching journey. So a wonderful place to learn and to be with ourselves and with the supervisee.
Nancy, anything you want to add?
Very well said. Yeah, it's a wonderful place to learn about ourselves with each other. It's very collaborative, and we get present to what's happening in ourselves, in our supervisee, in their coaches, in their system and work, and in the wider system in our world. So it's a beautiful systemic collaboration.
So this is what is bringing Nancy about the systemic perspective. Also, one of the differences is we really work on all of the different systems that we are part of, working differently than coaching. Coaching, we work what happened with the client. Here in supervision, we work with what happened to the coach, what happened to the client, what happened between the coach and the client, what happened between the coach and the supervisor, what happened around us systemically in the context, what happened politically, economically, socially. And I do believe that this emphasis on the systems is something that we do pay a lot of attention in supervision, but also in coaching in the new framework from the International Coach Federation with the new 8 core competencies. There is one, the coaching mindset, that also includes looking at the context. So there is we can see that also in coaching, we're starting to look at the importance of the coach to explore systems that the clients are part of. So I think that with that, I think we already covered for people who are the first time who are here, you got at least an idea what is it, and now we're going to see it in action. So in terms of the demonstration, the way we're going to work, and what sometimes is tricky is that I asked Terry to bring somebody that already knows, because when you have to do a demo, it's much easier to do a demo with somebody that you already know and have a relationship. Because if not, when you do a demo, suddenly you are with a stranger, having to build trust in 5 minutes and going in exploration. But I think that the people in this program, we are just starting the program, but I believe that people are willing to trust you, Terry, and work with you. And Steven Borek, you raised your hand last week, if I'm not wrong, when I asked who would like to volunteer, just in case we need a volunteer. That was you, Steven. Are you available or not to do it? You're on mute now.
Yes, Damien?
Do you feel comfortable being bringing a case as a coach to supervision with Terry?
Bring a case to supervision. Okay.
You may say no. You may say no. I'm sure that we can find other volunteer if you don't feel ready or comfortable. When I ask who would like to do it, Danny, do you have something you want to bring?
I'm
Danny,
not sure.
Yes,
okay.
I can be the coach.
Okay.
I can be the
So maybe
supervisor.
Steve, think because we have a demo every month, so we have to rotate. So it will be plenty of opportunities for everybody to bring cases here. But what is a little bit risky, Danny, is because you have here in this call 25 people. So you need to in some way forget that they are here, like just to be able to be present. The same thing for Terry, who is the supervisor. When you do demo, sometimes it's tricky because it's an artificial space. But our goal here is to learn, and the people who are going to be observers will have a positive stand. So we are looking for what do you think that is effective here, okay? So we have like a positive approach to feedback. So what we are going to be looking at, what do you think that is effective in this session that Terry is doing? And for the people who are for first time, you may wanna pay attention to how does it work and what happened in the session.
And Damian,
yes.
I'm assuming we'll have everyone turn off their video.
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
except for Danny and I, of course. Yep.
Exactly. So this is the next step. Please, everybody, turn off your cameras and your videos. Just, but you still have an active role, even though you will be observers. Just take some notes of what you observe happening. So everybody, even though you are not actively involved, still, I want to invite you to participate actively by taking notes so that you can discuss them later. So we're going to work Terry for 30 minutes. This is our first demo of the program. So this is the first opportunity that people have to observe somebody else to supervise. What do you need to do this? Do you need anything from me or from Danny or from everybody here to make this work for you?
No, I think we're all set. Thank you for the great introduction.
Yeah. Well, I think that you are I really respect you, Terry, and I admire you for all of the work that you have been doing for the coaching profession and also personally for supervision worldwide. So thank you. Even you participate in a research study, one of the most comprehensive research studies on coaching supervision in the world. So it's really great to have you here today. So thank you for your support. And then anything you need before we start?
I think just take some deep breath.
Okay. So that maybe you want to do that together with Terry. And remember here, you bring as a coach, you bring a case, so you're going to get supervision from Terry. So you need to bring a case or a situation or a challenge that you have as a coach. Yeah. As a coach working with a client. So Terry, do you want me to let you know when you have 5 minutes left, or do you want to manage time yourself?
Yeah, I'm used to monitoring time, so I think I'll be good. And if we
Okay.
go over, you could turn on your camera and let us know.
Okay.
But
So
I'll be good today and stop at 10 till.
okay, great. Well, we have 30 minutes, not 1 hour. Okay, can you like 30 to 40 minutes? Would that work?
Yes, so that would be if I have it right, 10 minutes to top of the hour, right?
10 minutes, and you can go up to the top of the hour. So be at the top of the hour, we always have a 5 minute break.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, so between 30 and 40 minutes, maybe I said.
Okay, Danny, we'll shoot for 30. We'll see how we do.
Okay, have a good session.
Well, welcome, Danny. Thank you for volunteering to be my coach for some supervision today. And I'm Terry Hidebrandt, and I've been supervising for about 3 years. And if you wouldn't mind just saying a tiny bit about yourself as a way of introduction.
Sure. Hi, Terry. It's an honor to be supervised by you. And I'm Danny from Indonesia. I've been a coach since 2003, actually. And only I got my credential starting in 2018. So then I get my PCC at the moment. So I've been coaching executives, CEOs, C-levels, directors, and all that, and business owners as well.
Great.
That's about me.
Well, thank you so much. And I agree with you about taking a few deep breaths. That's a great way to start if you'd like to do that with me. So maybe get comfortable in your chair, and we can stretch a bit if we need to.
Yeah.
And take, let's say, 3 deep cleansing breaths. Is that good?
Yeah. Okay, I'm ready.
Okay. All right, thank you. So as Damien said, I'd love to hear a little bit about your client, and then maybe 2-3 minutes, just describe your dilemma and what you would like to discuss today.
Yeah, I've been coaching this young lady business owners, and she would like to start something that something new, and then she asked me to coach her. So we have been doing it for 5 sessions now, once a month. So then the last session will be this coming month on the 9th of November. But then my issue is really with her. She kept not doing her action plan. So actually in between between session, I reminded her, call her or WhatsApp her. That's what's going on and all that thing. She has been said everything is good, everything is okay. So then when I asked, why don't you send me your assignment or your action plan and all that thing, so she kept postponing until the day of the session again, and then she said, oh, apologizing, she was busy and all that thing, so many things on the plate, only this. But then during the last session of the session 5, she was really kind of having a confirmed, committed agreement with me that she would do the action plan. And then when I reminded her again, she said that, oh, I think she has too many things on the plate. So then she need to postpone all the action plan, but then she will let you do something. So I think anyway, next month is going to be the last session, but then let's see what's going on. I think that's the situation at the moment.
Okay, all right. So just to summarize what I've heard, so you're working with her. You have one more session next month, and she's been postponing and procrastinating on her action plan, even though you have asked her numerous times about it. Is that a good summary of what's going on at the moment?
Yes.
Okay, great. And I'm wondering, how are you feeling about this client and your work with her?
My feeling that I think I would like to help her, and then she is a kind of authentic to get the help, because she would like to get help from her parents' business. So then she would like to do her own, right? And she is a kind of energetic, and then she has a lot of contacts, connections, and all that things. It's quite busy, and then she would like to do something that is a kind of well, it's kind of amazing. I would say that helping a maid to be level up, you see, housemaid and all that things.
Mm-hmm.
But then because of profit and all that, she's excusing herself. But she has also been bombarded by the parents that, what are you doing over there? It's nothing. Just do this, the business that we are already invested for many years. So then doing something new, it is risky, and then you are doing something is not for nothing. She has been educated abroad and all that things, and having a good life. Why she would like you to be on her own? Or the parents. So the parents saying that just get married or something like that, because she's already at the
Right.
late
So
30s or something like that.
So what you're describing is her parents are having putting pressure on her to take over their
Yes.
business. Yeah. So how has she reacted to that pressure from her parents?
Yeah, she's reacted that she say no, because well, at the moment she has been helping the parents as the alternate doing the CEO. I mean, the managing the company, because the parents has been up and down in Singapore or something like that. But then she has apparently that she is in charge for that, so that's why she's so busy. And but then she doesn't like the job, so she doesn't like it. She is kind of stressful. She's not happy with the job.
Great. So given all of that, what have you tried so far with her in terms of your coaching approach or interventions?
Well, so far, according to her, that she has self-awareness, and she can really understand the parents better. So then, in the moment that's in the present moment, she is willing to help the parents. But then, of course, she would like to pursue her dream to be on her own, right? So, because she is not a little girl anymore for the parents, right? So she is already.
Right. So she has that desire to be more independent and do her own thing. Yeah. So I'm curious also who she reminds you of in your own life, this client. Is there anyone else in your life that she reminds you of?
Reminds me of my, let me see, my cousin, I think. She's also not married, so.
Okay. How does your cousin sit with you? What kind of relationship do you have with your cousin?
Well, used to be close, but not anymore now, because she's somewhere else, not in the same city anymore. So yeah.
Right. Yeah. So I'm wondering, how are you feeling about the coaching process so far? What emotions come up for you personally with this coaching engagement?
Yeah, personally for me is that even I give her a special prize. Seems that this one is not giving her what you call it, the benefit that she should get from this coaching interventions, because she's choosing to delay most of the time, right? So
Hmm.
yeah.
So I'm also curious regarding your agreement with her. You know, what was the coaching agreement or contract designed to do for her?
Yeah, actually, we have the agreement that we need to really comply, and I'm the coach. I'm not really the one who is going to be teaching her. She would unleash her potential and all that things, and we do it monthly, and then do the action plan whenever the action plan is not being done. So she's going to be honest to inform. But
Hmm.
then, of course, I cannot force her to do it. I'm not the parents, right?
Right,
So,
right, absolutely.
to force her to do it. Right?
Yeah.
So,
What do you think? I mean, she's telling you that she's busy, but what do you think's really going on with her not doing the action plan? What do you think that procrastination's about?
I think she only has she needs someone to talk to, someone neutral to talk to, and then sometimes she treats me as her parent, her father, something like that, because the ideal father is not really judging her and all that, because his
Hmm.
real father is judging her too much.
Yeah.
So I
Do
said,
you
I'm not your father.
do you feel like you're at times playing the role of father, even though you tell her you're not? I'm just wondering. You say she's treating you as her father. Uh, uh,
Yeah, I think once I asked the permission, okay, let me act like your father now. So it's
right.
just playing a little bit. And she likes it a lot because then I wish my father is like that. So, okay. But then but then even make her more stronger to pursue her dream that she would like to do her own. But then,
Yeah.
of course, the timing is still the problem for her,
Yeah.
the challenge.
So what would be your ideal goal with this client? If you could change anything, what would you want to change in this particular engagement?
I think what I would like to change is really that it's about uh, bringing up her best self to not really uh, pursuing her dream or whatever. The dream is it's hers, right? But then what I would like to have her is really change on looking at herself. What is the best self, and then what kind of self-expression she could really bring. So then she could also convince the parents, and she's in a way also to replace her position uh, to take care of the parents' company or something like that. Anyway, I think she is the only daughter and all that. So then, I mean, everything is going to be under her anyway. So, but then she's not comfortable with that.
Right.
So let some professional to do the job, and then she will do something else or something like that.
Yeah. So when you say she's not coming back to, you have a vision of where you could take this engagement, and you find that she's not doing the action plans. I'm wondering if the action plan is the right solution right now, because you're talking about exploration. So is what has been the content of some of the action plans so far?
Yeah, actually, we do have at the beginning of the before the coaching started, we have a coaching plan. So then where she does want to go, what is the goal and all that things. In order to get there, what needs to be changed from herself, right? So then that one is all agreed. We sign off on that one. But then I think some action plan has been done, but then the crucial one, that to bring her to the next level, that one has been postponing, because she needs to be in front of the audience in the YouTube, make a recording, all that thing. And she said, I'm not that. Everybody will be knowing her and all that things. So she's not that type of a person to be in front of the screen or says that. So then she would like to have a friend to do it for her and all that things. But then keep changing the friend, which one is the correct one and all that things. It's kind of perfect person. You see, it's try to make it everything's perfect. And a friend needs to be like her. But I said, you are the only one in the world. Nobody else like her, right? So,
Right.
maybe similar to her, but then it's like
Yeah. Well, it almost sounds as if you're describing the stickler or perfectionist saboteur. Are you familiar with saboteurs? Things that can get in our way, like perfectionism. I'm wondering if that might be one of the things that's holding her back from taking action. What do you think?
I think that one is. I think so because I myself is a perfectionist as well. So then maybe that's. So then I really that's it's a aha moment now for me. That could be
Okay.
that I'm allowing her to be perfect. So
Right.
then I keep.
So you want a perfect coaching engagement, and she wants the perfect YouTube recording. So how do you think that might impact how you guys are working together?
Yeah, I think I need to be honest with her that I'm a perfectionist as well. That I would like. That's why I allow her to be perfect. So then let's pause and then do something. Revisit the coaching plan and what is good for her, right? Because it's not good if this one is keep going around and around, merry-go-round or something.
Yeah. So imagine for a minute you let go of the perfectionist and let the sage in you emerge. That part of you that is wise and knows a different way. How might you coach her from that perspective, as opposed to the perfectionist perspective?
Yeah, I would say that just being vulnerable that well, maybe we are going to the wrong directions. Let's pause and make a U-turn or something like that, and let's discuss it together.
Right.
So then just make sure that could be going back to the coaching agreement or the contracts, and then if the destination is different, so let's decide. We can also go further, maybe another 6 session or something like that for other things.
Right.
Because otherwise this is going to be this is no result, or the result could be only the awareness that we are both perfectionists. That's it. So it's not giving any solution.
Right. So when you describe that possible path forward, asking her if she wants to revisit the contract, or acknowledging that perfectionism might be sabotaging you in some ways, how does that feel to you, just picturing yourself doing that?
Yeah, could be that this is my blind spot. I
Hmm.
feel this one is, I think I never really feel like this before. I think I just realized could be this is my blind spot. I just don't realize it. So
Right.
until this session. You see.
Okay. So given that, how would it feel if you let go of the perfectionism? What do you think might be the emotional impact of that on yourself?
Yeah, could be that could be it's a risky one. I feel
Okay.
I'm not like that. I need to be perfect. So
So it's a little
so
risk
then
and
but anyway, yeah, but I need to try.
yeah.
Just
So it's
remember, I have tried once. Yeah, I have tried once in my life that I need to get my mathematics everything A, right? All A's. But then I get one B's, and then that's the end of the word. So
right. Was it really the end of the world, or what happened when you got the
no, it's
B?
not. No, it's not the end of the word.
Now you can laugh at about it, right?
But it's good that I failed once, so then I learned not to be successful all the time. So then I make mistakes and all that. So then I learn from mistakes actually.
Mm. How does that feel to know that you can learn from mistakes?
Yeah, I feel that it's more insightful when I make mistakes.
Mm.
If I do everything's correct, then sometimes I don't know why I'm correct.
Right. So going back to her for a minute, what do you think would happen if you acknowledged your own perfectionism and then allowed her to explore that within herself?
Yeah, she might be upset that how come I pay you and all this, and then you are not really giving anything or something like that. So, but then I said, well, I'm ready if I can return the money back. So that's okay.
Okay, so there's a little fear that she might not respond well, it sounds like.
Right.
Yeah. What do you think would likely happen?
I think she would understand, and I think we both, because after this, it's going to be the sixth session, right? Because she approached me, and then so many coaches over there, and I said, I asked her why me.
Yeah.
So then because she clicked with me and all that things. Okay, let's do it, and then we have a chemistry session and all that thing again. But then everything is okay, so we make the coaching plan as I mentioned. So until the third session, the small action plan is done, but then the big one has been postponed.
Yeah. Well, I'm also wondering, you mentioned earlier, you think she also is perfectionist, right? I'm
Yeah.
wondering how you might help her explore how her perfectionism is impacting her ability to achieve her action plan.
Yeah, could be I'll give some kind of share my experience about math, for example.
Yeah.
So then if that one is resonate with you. So sometimes I get stuck with the perfectionist things, and then people are. It's good to be perfect, I think, and then but then I need to sacrifice the time, right? So take times to be perfect.
Yeah.
Just do it and then make it happen, and then a little bit trial and error or something like that.
Yeah.
But then
So
it's risky.
yeah. So how might you minimize the risk? How might you mitigate or reduce the risk?
Yeah, I think to mitigate the risks, I would say that I will explain that let's postpone the session number 6, and then let's meet for just to revisit our coaching program. and then from there, let's do something different if both of us agree. I think
Okay.
that's like that. So
Yeah.
then session 6 will be a good closing, or then a good beginning also for the next session. I mean,
Yeah.
if they would like to plan it to another 6 session, yeah.
Yeah. So we have about 5 minutes left. What else would you like to cover today about this engagement?
Yeah, I'm just wondering now, after I'm talking like this, I just realized that I should know that this perfectionist might block me. And then I've been aware from before, but then for this one is a little bit could be stuck, right? And only for this particular coaching client, I don't know. Depend. I mean, this one is kind of could be I have sympathy. It's not empathy, but so then.
Right. Sometimes we often, I
Yeah.
think, coach people who are like us, right? That have some of the same issues. That's very common. Um, so given that, that you recognize in her some of your own characteristics, how might that help you actually work even better with her?
I think by being honest, I think relationship will be. I mean, the coaching relationship is going to be even going to the next level.
Mm.
And because she has been also promoting me that I'm a good coach and all that thing. I said, among the ordinary coaches, and the client is the extraordinary one. I just know the process of coaching, and you are the one doing the business or whatever. I don't know about the business and all that. Just in the soccer field, I'm outside of the field, right? But then the player are the great ones. They make goal, they make all the plays. So the coach is only outside of the playing field.
Mm-hmm.
If they make a goal, the coach is not really excited about it, and then it's not really jumping around. So the coach is the coach, right?
Right. I understand.
Need to be calm all the time, right? But then I get involved. So that's why I'm not calm. So sometimes I get into the field as well, kicking the ball as well.
Right. Yeah, that's insightful also, right?
Yeah.
So beginning to wrap up, what are some of your takeaways and maybe next steps, things that you realized today, and possibly how you might want to use this to support you with this client?
Yeah, I think I need to really make a distance, not being sympathy, but empathy, understand the situation, not get involved. And my next step is really to have extra session between 5 and 6 to talk about, to revisit the contract and then the coaching plan and so on.
Great. Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, any last thoughts before we wrap up today?
Well, I'm really grateful, Terry. Thank you very much. This is very useful for me.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
I appreciate you being willing to bring the case and work with me, and I really appreciate your honesty and openness and vulnerability as well. So thank you very much. And my cat has been
Thank you.
wanting to visit here, so you may have seen her tail come across the screen a couple times. So she's wanting to also do some supervision today. It was a pleasure to meet you.
Okay, pleasure to meet you, Terry, as well.
Good to
Thank
work
you.
with you today.
Well, thank you to both of you. Thank you very much for Terry accepting the invitation to do a public demo, and for you, Danny, for bringing a case and bringing yourself. So let's take a 5 minutes break, and when we come back, we're going to go to small groups to discuss what did we learn from this session, okay? So let's be back in 5 minutes. Terry, can you come back, everybody? So who would like to start sharing some observations, comments? I may start by reading what in the chat room. You see coming from Nancy, and Nancy wrote, Terry very effective, asked Danny many powerful questions to help him connect with himself, with his client and his client's work system by exploring their coaching agreement, who the client remind him of, what emotions came up during the coaching, what do you think is really going on with the client? What would you like to change in this engagement? Is the action plan the right solution right now? Very effective inviting the sage in him and ask how he might coach from that perspective. What do you think would happen if you acknowledge your perfectionism and invite her to do the same? Thank you so much, Danny and Terry, for a vulnerable, authentic session and for all the shared learning. Okay, this is a really great summary. So Nancy didn't want to miss your session. Terry, she was your supervisor in the program, wasn't she? So it's great she's back here.
Yeah, it was great to see her.
Yeah, so who would like to share what was your conversation, comments, observations? Terry, do you want to start doing like a self-analysis or a self-comment, something about did you see happening here you want to share with everyone?
Sure. Yeah, I'd be happy to give my perspective as the supervisor. And I think this was a great opportunity to show how even with someone brand new, you know, Danny and I think I've seen Danny somewhere before and went somewhere, but we've never really talked before. So you know, going from kind of 0 to 90, right, in 30 minutes, right, is but it can be done, right? And I think when we have these powerful systems and structures where they naturally instill trust by the container itself is so powerful in supervision, where you can actually go quite deep. And we did go deep. You know, we danced around a whole bunch of different eyes in the 7-eyed model. I'm sure if you guys are learning that, looking at, like Nancy was saying, what's happening with the client, what's going on in the larger system, what's going on with Danny himself, and then we really focused in on Danny, and you know, and how he's showing up and how this is impacting him. So, and I appreciated that he was very willing to go there. The metaphor I used in our breakout was, it was like exposing a beautiful statue. You know, you start with a big rock and you chip away, chip here, you're looking around in all these different ways and different perspectives, and then something amazing emerges. And that's what this session felt like. Is like we were sculpting something and getting all the stuff out of the way so we could see what was inside. Right?
What a great metaphor. Love the metaphor, Terry. Great job. Yeah, congratulations. You did a really beautiful session. Who else would like to share? What your discussions in your small groups? Anybody want to share what happened in your small groups? Steve?
Yeah, I have the challenge that what I'm struggling with as a supervisor is this whole idea of hypothesizing.
Mm-hmm.
All right, versus pure coaching. So you said something like, Terry, you said, what would happen if you shared perfectionism, blah, 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 right? And I'm saying, wow, that's directing, that's leading, that's sequestration, that's, but Danny said he was provoked. But then at the end, you said, you know, how can this help in the relationship knowing that you're both perfectionists? Like, I'm okay with that one, but for some reason, I'm not okay with the first one. And I feel like a White House correspondent reporter. Second, how do you get comfortable with hypothesizing? Terry.
Yeah, so from my perspective, it's a good way for the client to see new possibilities, right? So it's exploring possible pathways. So if you it's the direct communication in the old model for ICF, right, where you're pointing out a possibility, or you're offering a future approach to see if the client might like it or not, right? In this case, the coach. If he liked it and found it useful, great. If he didn't, maybe he'll come up with something better, right? So it's an innovation technique. One of the ways to innovate is by proposing something and then having people build on it. And I don't think it's leading if you believe that's the right thing to do. I don't think it's leading if it's one possibility of many, and you hold it quite lightly, right? Which is part of the core competency 7.
Thank you for bringing this up. And the other piece here is in supervision, different than in coaching, because you may have a little bit more experience than the person that you're supervising. Sometimes it's not the case. Sometimes maybe the coach, the two have the same kind of amount of experience, but one is trained as a supervisor and the other is not. But it's okay to do a little bit of a didactic function. As a supervisor, you may share best practices, or you may share some of your experiences working with some client that can help be supportive or provoking to the coach that you're supervising. And a key here is what Terry is saying, that is not sending people to do something. It's not saying, okay, you have to do this. So you do this, next week come back and share what happened. No, it's not like that. It's possibility. But as supervisors, I want you to feel free to share a little bit more about if the coach is what they want. Most of the time, coaches want to hear from the supervisor if they have similar situations working with their client. Now, you don't want the session to be all about that, but spending a few minutes around that can be of value. But I do believe that the most important part is to create a reflective space. So if we define supervision as a reflective space, I think that Terry was very effective in creating that reflective space, and he was reflecting a lot, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And then something that's important is like you all will find your own style. So everybody has, you need to develop your own style of supervision. You need to bring your own. I don't expect in this program everybody supervise the same. It's like you bring your own background, your own richness, your own wisdom, self as instrument, and you do it in the way that works for you.
Yeah. One thing I would suggest, Steve, to your question is reflecting on your own resistance to doing that. What is it about that particular intervention or approach that kind of broke some boundaries for you? Because maybe that would be really interesting to explore and see how that is affecting your own comfort or discomfort level.
Terry, if you had to do it over, is there anything you would do differently?
That's a hard one to say, because I think every session is so different. And I'm very much the kind of coach that dances in the moment, and I'm also the kind of supervisor that dances in the moment. In this case, we were following the breadcrumbs, as I describe it, and seeing what was showing up in the moment. And I would probably do it differently because Danny would probably say different things. So that is my answer to that, is yes, it would be different, but I don't regret anything at the same time. If that makes sense. Yeah.
Thank you, Terry, for sharing that. Anybody else would like to share what you discussed in your trials? Yes, Kimberly.
Oh boy. My takeaway is how much I have to shift in myself, because I'm so used to mentor coaching. And so as I was listening to Terry and I was listening to Danny's situation, I'm thinking things like, okay, well, what about motivation with the client and ambivalence, and what's her level of readiness for change? And it's like, so what you just said, I think you said you can share some kind of best practices, but it's like do I put all that kind of stuff aside, or do I let that inform some questions that may come out? Because, you know, right away I'm thinking all these things about the client, and it's like, oh gosh, you know, there's all these levels that may not be being addressed, you know, with her. So so this is new for me to come to. Do I let all that go and become just totally reflective, which I do have a little bit resistance around that?
Okay.
In response to reflecting on my own resistance to, so I, you know, again, this is all new, so I'm just trying to find, it's kind of like, what's okay, what's not okay, where do I play, where do I leave it as another domain?
Well, the good news, Kimberly, this is your first demo, and we have 30 more weeks to go in the program. So you have 9 months to answer that question. And you, and maybe some of the experienced supervisors have something to share. I don't know, Alicia or Jeannie or Terry, if you want to make any comments about that. How will you answer that question?
I would say it's a wonderful path. The program, all the program in itself, as is structured, you will first learn what is supervision, then you will start to learn how to see your own coaching from the lens of the supervision, and then you will start to see how to supervise a supervisee. So it's a path, I would say, Kimberly. It's not this is right or this is wrong. You will be discovering, and you will discover how this path will enhance a lot your own coaching and your own mentoring. So I would say enjoy it. Don't think this is wrong or this is right. Maybe it's a dance that you would like to have during the program, and you will discover a lot of things of yourself at the same time.
Yeah. Thank you, Alicia. That's some good wisdom for me to take. Yeah.
And if I can come in here just very, very quickly, and as Alicia said, it's a journey. It's a journey of discovery, just like our clients experience when they go on a coaching program. It's just peeling back the layers. And it's also like coaching, supervision is this partnership. It's this collaboration where you're learning together. It's creating that space to create this beautiful partnership, powerful partnership together, versus a mentoring relationship, which can potentially be like this. Yep. And so the client is here, but supervision enables that powerful process of self-discovery, self-learning, which, like coaching, is very powerful when it's coming from internally. So I hope that helps.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, Kimberly.
I think it's time to wrap up. I think that we need to finish here. I don't know if there are any last comments or questions before we go. And the participants of the program, I wanted you to stay for 10 more minutes. But everybody else, I wonder if you have any comments or anything you want to say before we go.
Could I offer maybe just one more tiny reflection on Kimberly's proposal? And, you know, it goes back to the use of self. I think if you have a lot of knowledge and theories and tools, that'll be part of your use of self. So, you know, but you'll integrate that over time, right, with all the new tools that you'll learn from this program too. So I agree with what has been said before, but for you, the way you supervise may be different from others because of your knowledge and of theory and practice.
Thank you all. It's all been very helpful.
Good. Thank you for bringing it up. Probably you're not alone in your questions, so thank you for bringing it up. Okay,
I would say, sorry, 1 minute. Thank you, Terry, for this last part, because it's not something or the other one, it's and the other one. And that, I think, completes a lot of myself too. So thank you.
So thanks everybody, particularly Terry and Danny, for doing this demo, and for all of the guests who are here today, graduates from the program, supervisors of the program. So we are going just to use the last 10 minutes to talk about some logistics before we go.